But as always, the biggest story on India Upfront, the biggest story of the day. Viewers, Madrasa Reform has moved to the top of the agenda in at least 3 states. After Assam, Uttar Pradesh, now Uttarakhand has decided to hold surveys of unregistered madrasas to bring them into line with modern learning practices. The idea, viewers, is to ensure that no child in India is left behind in the assimilation of new ideas as the world evolves into a knowledge economy. I'm sure no parent who has the best interests of their child in mind would have a problem with this. After all, who would want their children to attend unrecognized institutions where they could fall prey to obscurantist ideas or where there is no oversight over the quality of education being imparted? Now, viewers, we are in a very, very competitive world. Children are almost under pressure from class 1 to outperform the next, to make something of themselves, to become breadwinners and independent by 21. Viewers, if you make false starts at the primary level, at the formational level, you're done for. You're going to be left behind in the race, at least when it comes to academics, scholastics, and from there on professions that are dependent on degrees, grades, etc. But unfortunately, a massive controversy has erupted because surveys are being conducted on, as you know, unregistered madrasas. The controversy or controversies are much like those that erupted when other reforms were undertaken by the courts to ensure parity in Muslim society. When laws outlawing instant triple talaq, a regressive practice that disadvantages women, were framed, there was a backlash. When the High Court adjudged the donning of hijabs in classrooms as a practice that went against the secular outlook of this country, there was a problem. One cleric, viewers, has even gone to the extent of calling upon madrasa managers to attack surveyors who come to survey these unregistered madrasas with slippers. The last we saw this kind of misbehavior was when, viewers, at the height of the COVID pandemic, a number of surveyors went to certain localities to investigate the spread of COVID. They were set upon. Viewers, this is very, very disturbing. Listen in to the reactions that have come in. One particular reaction, viewers, is from a cleric. Listen to this first.
आप कराइए उनका सर्वे, उनका आधुनिकीकरण कीजिए, उनमें दुनियावी शिक्षा दीजिए, उनमें जो चाहे आप कीजिए, ये आपका अधिकार है। लेकिन आप कहें कि साहब हम जो है प्राइवेट मदरसों का भी करेंगे, तो मैं मुसलमानों से एक अपील करना चाहता हूं कि इस तरह का नोटिस जो भी लेकर आए उसको 2009 का वो कानून दिखाइए और चप्पल जूतों से उनका स्वागत कीजिए।
Rashidi, this particular individual, found support from politicians too. While AIMM's Owaisi painted a scary scenario to discredit the survey on these unregistered madrasas, the BJP hit back. It's all become one big war of words. Listen in.
सर्वे सिर्फ अनएडेड मदरसों का क्यों हो रहा है? सर्वे आरएसएस के चलाए जाने वाले स्कूल्स का क्यों नहीं हो रहा है? जो उनके स्कूल्स हैं, जिसको शिशु विहार या जो भी कहा जाता है, उसका सर्वे क्यों नहीं हो रहा है? सिर्फ एक समुदाय के अनएडेड मदरसों का सर्वे करना मेरी नजर में ये एक टारगेटेड सर्वे है और इसके जरिए से बाद में फ्यूचर में इनको तंग किया जाएगा, तकालीफ दी जाएंगी। और इसीलिए मैंने कहा है कि छोटा एनआरसी है, तो आप सबका सर्वे कराइए ना। आप क्यों शर्मा रहे हैं, क्यों डर रहे हैं आप? और आर्टिकल 30 के तहत सरकार को समझना चाहिए कि आर्टिकल 30 के तहत इन मदरसों को बनाया गया, संविधान का जो बेसिक फंडामेंटल राइट है।
जो सर्वे पे जो लोग सवाल कर रहे हैं उसके पीछे उनकी सियासत है। सर्वे समस्या नहीं है, सियासत समस्या है। और जो भी मदरसे हों, जो भी इंस्टीट्यूशंस हों, उनका लेखा जोखा तो होना होगा। अब दिक्कत ये हुई है कि मैं ये नहीं मानता कि सभी मदरसे गड़बड़ झाला कर रहे होंगे, सभी मदरसों में जो है वो गलत काम हो रहा होगा, लेकिन अगर एक मछली सारे तालाब को गंदा करने की कोशिश करे तो उसके लिए तो सावधान सबसे पहले तो मदरसों वालों को होना चाहिए।
Now viewers, Owaisi claims that the survey singles out only unregistered, unaided madrasas, but ignores RSS-run schools, ignores schools like the Saraswati Shishu Mandirs, the Ekal schools for tribal students run by the RSS. Is this claim borne out by facts? Viewers, on this show, I always bring you the hard facts so that you can get closer to the truth. The idea is to equip you with arguments that you can make amongst your friends and generally sound informed. So let's look at the facts, the hard facts. RSS runs Saraswati Shishu Mandirs, Ekal schools for tribal students. Viewers, in Assam, teachers of some madrasas were involved in jihadi activities. These were unrecognized, unaided, unregistered madrasas. RSS schools, most SSM schools, follow the CBSE syllabus already and they use NCERT books. They're registered in some capacity or the other. The NCPCR report of 2021 says that syllabus taught in madrasas are outdated. They need overhaul. That's why perhaps there is a focus right now on madrasas, so that children from minority communities are not left behind in the race, viewers. Saraswati Shishu Mandir syllabus is modernized, holistic and integrated. The MHA says in West Bengal some madrasas are used for radicalization of the youth. There is a complete unregulated education being imparted in these schools. In RSS schools, there's a focus on skill development, increasing employability of the youth. The ORF, viewers, has said lack of scientific and secular subjects in madrasa curriculum, and they need to be overhauled. So let's open this up. Let's ask some basic questions. And let me first begin with Abdul Razak Khan, political analyst, and Kamru Choudhury, leader of the Congress. Mr. Choudhury, let me ask you, whether it is triple talaq or hijab or now surveys on unregistered madrasas, why is there such a great opposition to reform for the purpose of equality? Can you explain? It's across the board. It can't be coincidental. There must be some problem here.
What? No, when we are discussing this madrasa education, let me just quote a National Council for Applied Economic Research data, wherein they stated only 4% of Muslim students in India attend a madrasa full-time. So this survey in fact is for the 4% of those Muslims. And why these 4% are going to the full-time madrasas, that is a big societal question that we can debate another day. Now why there is so much of a discussion and hallabulla about this entire survey that the UP government is undertaking? Is reform the only agenda? If yes, then where is the roadmap? Where is the policy for the future of these madrasas? Now, what I feel is, because of a back history, that what Assam government has done to the Madrasa Education Board in Assam, what it is doing to the madrasas in Assam, there is a serious problem of perception that whatever the government of Uttar Pradesh is undertaking today has come under a suspect cloud, just because its intention towards reforming the madrasas is not the only agenda. What are they surveying about? They are surveying about the sources of funding. We all know these madrasas run on funding from zakats of wealthy people who donate a part of their wealth to the education of these poor students. Now, this will also, survey will also conduct whether these structures are legal or illegal, whether these madrasas are registered or not. Now, let me state you some very important fact. You know, in West Bengal madrasas, Hindu students outnumber Muslim students in the madrasas. Are you aware of this fact? Just because during the CPM left regime in West Bengal, the Madrasa Education Board was totally transformed into imbibing the modern education as well as the theological studies in one place. That improved the madrasa education to such an extent that we have got doctors, engineers coming out of competitive exams successfully from such madrasas in West Bengal. Now there are other aspects also to this. Now this
so you believe there is nothing wrong
when they are coming out of a madrasa,
and this is a prejudicial exercise.
Let's say some people biased. No, I'm not saying that. Sir Syed Ahmed, the greatest reformist in education in the minority sector or the Muslim sector, he built up one of the India's finest universities, the Aligarh Muslim University.
Sir, so but let's not speak about Sir Syed Ahmed. He also proposed, one second. He also had quite a jaundiced view on civil society relations. He is the original proponent of Pakistan, sir. He believed that Muslims could not live alongside Hindus. So let's not invoke him. Great man that you might think he is one of the reasons why today we're a divided country, suspicious of each other constantly. And you have seen, sir, the effects of having Pakistan as a neighbor. So 1 minute. So let me open this up. Okay, you made a very lengthy point.
Your viewpoint, sir.
Mr. Choudhury,
you made anything to say.
Okay, you made a very lengthy. You made a very lengthy point. You've spoken for 3 minutes. You've pretty much very comprehensively put forth your point. Let's get some reactions on it, if you don't mind. Let's go to two very educated members of the Muslim community. Sayyid Rizwan Ahmed, who is a lawyer, and Firoz Bhakt Ahmed, former VC of the MANNU. Chancellor, sir, sorry. Mr. Ahmed, what do you make of this? Is this an exercise prejudicial to Muslim interests? Is it an attempt, as Mr. Choudhury says, to gun for one community, or Mr. Owaisi says, a mini NRC? What is it?
Is it for me or Mr. Rizwan?
For Mr. Rizwan.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, thank you so much. As far as people go who mention X, Y and Z that he studied in a madrasa and he studied in a madrasa, so Guru Dronacharya was instructing Arjun in archery in a Gurukul. So our army, modern army, might as well have some Gurukuls and some shooters like Dronacharya, and they should not have this peasant system what we have today by this yardstick. So let us not talk about the madrasas of the past and the gurukuls and how people were produced from there. Come to this century, come to 2022, number one. Number two, the truth is somewhere in between, Rahul. How many Muslims, how many Muslim intellectuals, leaders you have come across your 25-year-old in career in journalism who are genuinely asking for modernization of madrasa? I think I have not come across any. And 4 days back, a very renowned cleric, Maulana Frangi Mahli in Lucknow, said this, that madrasas are places for Islamic education. We only want basic education where modern education is concerned. So the point is, they are not looking for modern education, no reforms. Now, what the government is doing, Rahul, what I feel we are sugarcoating a problem, and the problem is that globally, Bengal, Kashmir, I agree and I concede that madrasas produce hardliners, if I won't say terrorists. But yes, we produce hardliners from a madrasa. Now the government is sugarcoating it in name of modernism. I feel the government should come out in the open. Government should come overboard. Government should tell the madrasas that yes, we feel we have a socio-religious risk from your education and we want to monitor it and we want to keep an eye on it. Let us not give a name of modernization. Let us be open and truthful that yes, madrasas might create a socio-religious problem in the country as it has created globally. Last but not the least, as far as the zakat goes, madrasas are governed by Article 30.
Razak Saab, let me complete. He said last point. Now, I'll bring you in right after. Yes.
Now, as far as zakat goes, what is the problem in declaring that X, Y, and Z contributed this zakat in the madrasa? Because courtesy Article 30, zakat will come under charity and charity will have an income tax rebate. So why are you hiding and concealing the people who are contributing in the madrasa in form of zakat? Why don't you come and give us the list so that they also get an income tax rebate? Here it means you are hiding something which deserves a survey.
Very, very, very important points being made by Syed Rizwan Ahmed. Now, Abdul Razak, you raised your hand. You disagree with him. Why do you disagree with him? You can now tell us. And I want to bring Firoz Bhakt Saab right after that. Yes.
Rahul, very thankfully, Rizwan ji has understood the real reason behind the modernization, that the government wants to keep an eye on the madrasas. They look at us in a skeptical way. Now, let me tell you, the real intention of establishing Darul Uloom Deoband was to fight the British. We hated British so much that we did not teach our children English. You know, today those people who spied for them, people who copied their uniforms are questioning the madrasas. Maybe there have been some issues with some people involved in some different cases. But what is the conviction rate of the sedition charges? Not more than 2.6%.
Where are you going with this argument? I'm not understanding.
Who are on par with academic studies with other
is
children
talking
as well.
about a basic problem, and let me tell you,
if
this
your
comment by Mr.
is to modernize.
Sir, let me just finish. Then you can respond to me. I just want you to also...
Let me just give one statement, then maybe...
1 second, sir. 30 seconds, please. I want to draw to your attention what the governor of Kerala has himself said about madrasas. He says that these are the cradles of radicalism. These are his words, not mine. Why would the governor of Kerala say this?
People may have opinions.
No, but they are founded.
Sir, if you question the
on basic
Muslim
facts,
Manch,
sir,
they will talk in the same length and line as the government.
In Assam,
my question to you is,
Assam, several madrasas.
If your real intention is to improve Muslim children,
sir, please, what is wrong?
Implement the
Let me ask you this
Committee's
question.
recommendations.
What are the recommendations?
Why don't you implement the Muslim reservation bill?
Okay.
This is only an eyewash in other
completely off
people's
on
mind.
some tangent tonight. Wait, let me bring in Firoz.
I will give you a list
Firoz
of people.
Bhakt Ahmed. 1 second, sir. It's you know, I think you are deliberately obfuscating, sir, today. I am only quoting back to you renowned scholars from the Muslim side, and they say that there is a problem. And you know, I think Mr. Choudhury said, Mr. Ahmed, Mr. Firoz Bhakt Ahmed, that, you know, only 4%. But even those 4% in a country as populous as ours, do you know how much 4% is of the Muslim population of Muslim children? It's a huge number. Why should we have them?
No, I added,
one second.
Added, there is a societal
No, it doesn't matter, sir. Don't make even one child irrelevant in the... No, don't use statistics, sir, to trivialize issue. This is very wrong. Every child born in this country deserves a future, sir.
The survey aims at one thing, to vilify...
What vilify, sir? What is the survey undertaking? Let me give you...
I agree.
Let's put the facts out, and I want to bring Firoz Bakht Ahmed Saab onto this. What is the survey? One second, let me just read out, sir, the aims and objectives. You can then...
Have some patience.
Have some patience, sir.
There are other people also in the debate.
Chaudhry Saab, please, don't railroad people.
No, you just tell me,
Can I read it out to you? I'll tell you. Can you give me 30 seconds?
People will say that people like you are intolerant. Please, there are other people also in the debate.
Yeah, sure.
You have had your time.
Mapping of all unrecognized institutions during survey to identify out of school children. Okay. Greater role of minority cell in NCRT, SCRT to take the fundamental right to elementary education to all children, especially children of minority communities. What is wrong with this? Need for appropriate steps to extend the provisions of RTE to minority education institutions, or make law with similar effect to ensure RTE of children studying in minority education institutions. Need for care and protection of children as per Juvenile Justice Act 2015. Interpretation and implementation of rights of children, especially with regards to right to education. Requirement of issuing guidelines regarding nature and number of minority institutes in a state. Notification of guidelines regarding composition in minority institutes. How many teachers are teaching what? What exactly are they teaching? What are their antecedents, etc. Re-examination and further amendment of guidelines for grant of minority status to school. So you want to bring them into the formal structure. Creation of appropriate administrative system for the purpose of meaningful realization and effective implementation of linguistic minority rights. Addition of minority status renewal at periodic interval. Introspection by management of schools with minority status and religious institutions on their role and contribution. Is this really so sinister? Sir.
Thank you so much, Rahul Saab, and I request not only you, Rahul ji, others also to be patient and to give me some quality time. Now, let me first of all, for a start, begin with condemning the remarks of Maulana Sajid Rashidi Saab, a very good friend of mine, who said that if any person goes for a survey in any madrasa, he or she should be welcomed with juta chappal. This is not what Islam is, right? This, unfortunately, it is because of these remarks that Islam comes under scanner. First thing. Second thing, there are, I think, almost 56 Islamic countries. They also have Rahulji Madrassas, and they also conduct surveys. Now, in the beginning, you said something very positive. You began on a very positive note, Rahul, by saying that these surveys are done in the madrasas so that these poor institutions, whether registered or unregistered, are not left behind. Because if it is not 4%, as a friend of mine has said, it is almost 20 to 25% Muslims, because they are poor and they cannot afford to go to a modern school, or maybe to a Weinberg Allen school, or maybe to some Sanskriti school. They go to madrasas because they are run on shoestring budget and no fee is taken. Now, having said that, now third point is, I would support the Chief Minister of Assam. He is not my friend. I am not carrying his brief. When he said in a conclave of one of these TV channels, he said that we are not stopping Muslim children from studying Quran. Let them study Quran as much as they want. But I want from these madrasas IAS officers, doctors, architects, pilots, engineers. This is what his aim is. And the last point, the Muslims, almost there are 35% Muslims in Assam. They have not objected to him. They are not on roads. They are supporting him because they know, of course, madrasa education is all about religion. But if they learn English, Hindi, Sanskrit, debating, and they are into sports, they are into science, these children will make the India of the dream of Prime Minister Modi, who told Muslims that I want in each and every Muslim's one hand the Holy Quran, Rahul, and in the other hand a computer. So what is wrong in that? I think we should support not only Sarma, we should also support Yogi, because these people really want to actually improve the level of education, and they want to give them secular education besides the religious education. And lastly, let me not pontificate that if a survey is done and if it goes to the hilt, these madrasas will become as good as any wonderful school, whether it is Sanskrit school or modern school or St. Columbus.
Is the Congress party today playing to the radical galleries like it did when there was a move to reform triple talaq? Another practice. No, look here, Jindal, are you aware of what students have told the NCPCR, which conducted a survey in its own right? Madrasa students, they said madrasas do not have teachers of Hindi and English and requested for the same. Nusrat Jahan, who studies in 7th standard, wants to join the police force in future. She presented a goal. Are you holding these students back because you want to appease some sections who are influential in whipping up support for you? Mr. Jindal,
Rahul, it's not
Ishkaran
about
Bhandari is
appeasement.
listening and I want to bring him in. This is a political aspect now. Yes, Mr. Jindal.
Yes. See, when I'm talking about a modern state system with all its legal, political, bureaucratic institutions, it's based upon the basic premise of social contract, whereby all aspects of society, civil societies, they come together, have a dialogue with the state, and accordingly laws are framed, formulated and applied. Now, the present government in Uttar Pradesh, Assam, they are formulating laws, implementing laws, imposing laws without even entering into some form of a consensus and dialogue with the civil societies. Okay, fine. If you want to modernize the madrasas, fine enough. But there are various institutions established. There is a Madrasa state education board.
Sir, I'm asking you a specific question, Mr. Jindal. I'm asking you, should there be any unregistered institutions in this country? Yes, no.
See, it's more than you and me.
Sir, would you send your own children to an unregistered institution?
Let the
Baba,
Madrasa
just answer me
organization
one
take the
question,
call for
sir.
that.
Would you, Mr. Jindal, send your children, would you like your brothers, sisters, relatives, etc., those you love, to go to unrecognized, forget madrasas,
And
any
where you're a Madani would never send
any
you
unregistered institution? Would you, yes or no?
That will depend upon my social and economic conditions.
Sir, are you trying to tell me that the very poor people, no, the very poor people have a choice?
I would say that
do the poorest of the poor even have a choice?
Those aspects of societies which are involved over
Mr.
there.
Jindal, what is wrong with you?
Or a bureaucracy which is imposing it from the above.
My God.
What's the harm in taking opinion from the
Ishkaran Bhandari, would you like to explain to him?
While formulating laws.
I mean, at the very entry level, we should have registered schools for all sections of our society. It should not matter where you come from.
UP tops the list of the worst school education.
Sir, that is why they are wanting to reform.
Unrecognized universities.
That is what they are trying to do, push for reform. Is that a crime? Should people be hit with chappals for this?
No, that's just an expression. The
it's an
idea
expression.
is
don't justify all this, sir. We have seen when expressions like this were used, what happened during COVID. Now, don't do this, please. Mr. Ishkaran Bhandari. You're on silent. You're on mute. Ishkaran Bhandari, go ahead.
Give me one more opportunity.
Yes, of course.
Rahul, let's understand that hijab, uniform versus hijab, or opposition to triple talaq, or opposition to survey in madrasa is just the symptom. The problem is much deeper. My friend from Congress, he just said, take the community opinion. Unfortunate reality is that the community opinion has been hijacked with a tiny sliver who have declared themselves as the leader of the community, opposing reform, opposing upliftment of kids or women. And let us start by 1947. I'm not going to go into the pre-1947 history of Pakistan, etc. Uniform Civil Code was what was envisaged in the modern world of marriage, divorce, maintenance. Nehru government brings a Hindu code bill, but does not touch the status of women or reform the Muslim civil law. Why? The same argument my friend from Congress gave today. Please don't interrupt. The same argument my friend from Congress gave today, take the community opinion, was taken as a reason that the community is not ready today for reform of civil law. That was 1950s, 2022. We are hearing the same argument. Let's stop this.
Sir, my friend is factually incorrect. Let me correct. Let me give you a good lesson of history now.
Don't interrupt me.
When the Hindu Code Bill was introduced, it was RSS which had opposed Hindu Code Bill.
Sir, let him complete, sir.
Let me finish my point.
Let him complete.
When the Supreme Court tries to reform, brings a Shah Bano judgment, what happens? You bring in a law because you can convince the government of the day that you need a different law from a law which gave us paltry maintenance to a woman. Then this government comes in, it brings in a law which most Muslim countries would also agree with, that you cannot say talaq, talaq, talaq and leave a woman helpless. That opposition to that law also occurs. Then you say uniforms and you say it's an independence. Which 13, 14-year-old child going to a school has the right to decide what uniform to wear? In other debates, we say parental pressure, community pressure.
Yeah, Rahul,
but you oppose the uniform in a school. And what is happening here? No law is passed. Only a survey is being done. You have read the outlines of the survey. What will it survey? And you start opposing a survey. So the problem is you have made up a mindset that there are certain areas of life in which the government will have no role. In a democracy, that is not possible. We cannot have 370 where the Union of India has no role. It had to go. Similarly, we cannot have unregulated madrasas. They have to be regulated. They have to be surveyed. And then let's see what the government does and we can have a debate on that.
Okay, quick responses. Yes. Lokesh Jindal, before I bring in Abdul Razak, Firoz Bhakt and Sayyid Rizwan. Last time. Yes.
First of all, when Ishkaran says that it was Congress which did not bring about Hindu Code Bill or Universal Civil Code for the Hindus, let me tell you, Congress was sincere upon introduction of Hindu Code Bill. Wait a minute, let me complete now. You had your word.
Did you even hear what I said?
RSS which was opposing introduction of
Hindu. Bring the uniform civil code for everybody. You brought a Hindu code bill.
Introduction of Hindu Code Bill.
Let me tell you,
it was saying that Hindu Code Bill should not be introduced, and RSS was hell-bent upon introduction of laws while formulating all civil laws for the Hindus. And secondly, when you are talking about universal civil code, there is a manner in which it is to be introduced. We are not opposed to universal civil code. It is very much introduced in Article 44 of the Constitution.
Okay, but Lokesh
the manner in which it is to be introduced.
Where are you going with this? You are a person who is justifying. You are creating you are creating a legitimate rationale for those who say that surveyors should be beaten. You call it an expression.
Rahul,
do you know how easily these expressions turn into actions? Tomorrow you will. No, 1 second. By that yardstick, when people say that, goli chala do, ye kar do, wo kar do, you will also say, oh, that was just an expression. The BJP will say that, and will you accept that? Come on, sir, have it in you to at least condemn what is absolutely wrong. How can you have a fatwa like this issued and said beat up people who come there for a survey? What are you hiding in the first place?
Let us see the wholesome picture.
1 second. No, what is the wholesome picture? The wholesome picture is being painted by the NCPCR, the one body in this country that has been established for the protection of child rights. Are you saying they're also part of some larger RSS scheme?
Sir,
come on.
At that point of time, why did the Yogi government is stopping all the funding to madrasas with the resolution it adopted in May 19?
Sir, the NCPCR report on the impact of exemptions on education of children of minority communities from March last year recommended the mapping of all unrecognized institutions during a survey to identify out-of-school children. They need to be brought into the formal process. We have an educator sitting right next to us, Firoz Bhakt Ahmed, who said there is no problem with this. Why is there not a problem? Why are these people...
2 quick points.
Yes, okay, 2 quick points.
2 very quick points.
Mr. Ahmed coming to you after
just a minute.
Yes.
My dear friend Lokesh, just let me say something. Just please listen to me and then you can speak later on. You see, immense need of the hour today. Why this survey is being conducted? Whatever you say to tarnish madrasas or to blame them or whatever, to close them, to bulldoze them, nothing. Only for 2 points these surveys are conducted. Firstly, to provide good facilities to madrasa children, good food, good clothes, books, all these things. Secondly, to modernize the education, to make it advanced, to expose them to advanced education of science, geography, English, Hindi and sports. This is the basic aim of this survey.
Sayyid Rizwan Ahmed, would you like to remind the Congress spokespeople here Mr. Jindal and also Mr. Choudhury, who are speaking about minority interests with such passions about what the Sachar committee said about the status of Muslims under long spells of Congress rule. Can you please?
Yeah. See, the point is, I give you a larger picture. Whatever Congress has done or Mr. Jindal is saying, we all know. But at the end of the day, the community has to do good for itself. Now, somebody said only 4% children are from the Madarsa. Now, Rahul, I ask you one thing. Okay, 4% are from the Madarsa, they are getting poor education, they are passing out from there. But the point is, are you happy with the 96%? Everything is fine with the 96% you mean to say in this country. The nonsense which this country has seen from the time of Shah Bano to triple talaq to Rohingya, CA, NRC, Hijab. The 6 girls in Hijab who are contesting in the Supreme Court today, are they from a Madarsa? No, they are not from a Madarsa. The problem is much more deeper, as Ishkaran was saying. And when I come to the Madarsa argument, you modernize the Madarsa or not is not my subject. My argument is discourage the Madarsas, reduce this 4% from 4 to 1%. Rather than modernizing, government should ensure that in the coming 1 decade, we have hardly any Madarsa left in this country.
Let me ask a simple question here. Let me ask a simple question. Let me ask a simple question. How many on this panel? Let me ask. Lokesh Jindal, do you send your children to 1 second?
Has been exposed today.
Mr. Choudhury, I'll come to you. Give me 1 second, I'll come to you. I'm asking a question, fundamental question. Mr. Jindal, do you send your children to an unregistered school, yes or no? Or any of your relatives, have they been, or you yourself, been to an unregistered school? No. Okay. No. Leave it at that. Okay. Mr. Razak Khan, any of your children go to an unregistered school? Any of your relatives, you yourself, unregistered, unregulated school? Yes, no?
My children study in Oxford school. Along with that, they go to Madrasa as well.
But you are giving them a formal education. Now, wait a minute. Let me come to Mr. Choudhury. Mr. Choudhury, you are a politician. Now, 1 second, Mr. Khan, I only asked you a yes and no question. I can come back to you with a follow-up. No problems. I'll allow you to speak.
You have grabbed him.
1 second. Mr. Kamru Choudhury, did you yourself go to an unregistered school? Do any of your children, relatives, anyone go to unregistered madrasas or any unregistered school? Yes, no?
They would say Raja Ram Mohan Roy, Maulana Sajid, Rajendra Prasad, they all are madrasas.
Rahul,
yes, no.
Does not come out.
Yes, no, Mr. Choudhury, yes, no.
They also can be from London School of Economics.
Sir, yes or no?
From
yes or no?
Radicals are born from London
yes or
School
no,
of Economics also.
Sir, Choudhury
London School of Economics also, radicals are born.
Sir, yes or no? I'm asking you personally to tell me.
Don't be specific.
I am asking you personally. Please, I am asking you this question, sir.
I told you personally.
I am asking you this question. Yes or no?
Are those unprivileged class?
See, viewers, this is the problem. This is the problem. We have in this country double standards. We apply them liberally for those.
Advocate for madrasas, but they would never send their children to madrasa or Urdu medium school.
The question is why. The question is why. Let me ask Ishkaran Bhandari. Ishkaran Bhandari, do you send your children to unregistered schools, yes or no?
Rahul, nobody who has an iota of intelligence will send their children to unregistered school, but I must compliment you. You should have been a prosecutor in a court, because just by a simple question, we saw how you made them all go around in circles, not answer a simple
So your children, your relatives don't deserve to go or don't want to go, or you will not send them to these madrasas, but you don't mind if 4 or 25% of Muslim children go to the schools or institutions where you will not send your children. Now viewers, there is a problem. There is a problem.
They would advocate for madrasas, but they would not send their children to unregistered schools and madrasas. That is the main problem. Hypocrisy, absolute hypocrisy.
I rest my case here, viewers. We have seen hypocrisy. I'll tell you, viewers, separatists sitting in Kashmir.
Double mind.
Separatists sitting in Kashmir They arm children, pay them money. Till about 2 years ago, with stones, to come out onto the streets, take bullets and throw these stones. And where were all their children going to study, viewers? Abroad or out of state.
Many of them lost their lives through pellet guns.
Absolutely.
Pellets.
They use them as other children, other people's children, as cannon fodder to score political points. And where do they go? Where do their relatives go? Their children go? They are out, viewers. You see the term out of school, out of context, out of orbit, out of state, out of country. I'll leave it to that, viewers. We need to move on because